and welcome to Fifth Quarter right here on BBA TV. My name is Nyari Esnika and I am your host. We are going to be giving you all updates and news about basketball, both nationally and globally. But for today, we're going to be focusing on the Bulawayo Basketball Association League that takes place at Kanyisile Sports Center. Joining me in studio today, we have former basketball player and basketball enthusiast, and also an analyst, Mr. Eliel Seth Nyongoni. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yes. And also in studio with us today, we have former Angels basketball coach and Founders and Hamilton coach, Mr. Rodney Mani. So, to kickstart the show today, we are going to be looking at the previous games, Week 5 games, that were held at Kanyisile Sports Center. And the first game that was played, it was Angels basketball and Lakers juniors. So, what were your thoughts on that game?
Basically, judging from the game between Angels and Juniors, Angels started off very slow. Maybe it was just rust because of the holiday. Juniors were very enthusiastic. They came to play in the first half. Halftime, they were down by maybe a basket or so. So I think they were into the game more than Angels in the first half. But second half, Angels did eventually experience showed and they took over from there.
Okay.
For me personally, I believe that this particular game week showed a lot of character from senior players, and Angels. I think that's the edge that they had on top of over Lakers juniors, and it played a very pivotal role. That's how they came up top out of that one.
Okay, but let's also consider, because the final score was 52-28. Now let's look at the players, the Lakers juniors players. These players are mostly students. They're players that are also students at schools, and then these ones are experienced players. So what do you say about Angels being held by these young kids who are not really experienced until halftime?
I'd say it's just a question of the team, the whole game vibe that they came with. You understand, the body language from Angels was not, from the beginning of the first half, they did not have that body language that they were there to play. Like you said, senior players did show up. Titi in the first half, I think she scored, if not 3/4 of the points for Angels in the first half. She stood out in the first half. She had to take over the game. If not, I think it could have been a different game.
Okay, and then we also have a player, an underrated player, Alison Zima, who during that game, in her attempts, she had 4 attempts for 3-pointers and she made 3. So what do we say about that?
Just boosting in confidence. Games like that is where you need a player to come out and show themselves. And I think that's what happened in that game. The Angels got into that game saying that we've got it in the bag.
True.
So the minute you get into a game like that, you will be surprised and you will be shocked, which I believe is what happened. And later on, they got into the game, into the vibe, and that's when you notice that players like Alice came to the party.
Okay, so we're saying that Alice only made those 3-pointers because she was playing a team that she thought they could beat. Are you saying she couldn't do it with other teams that are more competitive?
She can, but what normally happens in instances like that is you start thinking too much. If it's a big game where it's let's say Lakers A's and Angels, the first thing that comes to our head is, can I do this? You know what I mean? But in games like that is where you build confidence, and as time goes on, you become better at what you do, because you get the confidence to take 3-pointers. The first thing that will most probably come to your head in a game against Angels or against Lakers or Mavericks is pass the ball. But then now with Lakers juniors, you notice that as time goes on, she's now having the confidence to take shots and whatnot, which is a good thing.
Okay. So congratulations to Angels basketball for winning that game. And then the next game was Lakers seniors versus Divas. And unfortunately, Divas couldn't make it to that game. So what happens? Because they have forfeited this game and they have given the victory to Lakers seniors.
Yeah,
so
the Lakers gets the points for the game, and then basically extra 20 points for that game because of the walkover, because Divas didn't feature for the game. Divas, we all know, it's a more veterans team, so work commitments and so forth. So I suppose that, and they also did relay the message a little bit late. Otherwise, probably would have had a different game in place instead of the walkover.
So if they had communicated earlier, they could have rescheduled the game. So doesn't that affect them? Because in the event that they are still held up on other games, how does that affect them in the league if they miss another game?
Basically, you see, with the forfeit, the team that forfeits, they don't get any points at all. Because with basketball, the winning team gets 2 points, the losing team gets a point. But if it's a forfeit, the losing team doesn't get a point at all. And with the rules for BBA is if you forfeit 2 games, then you're out of the league.
Okay. So Lakers seniors have then bagged another game. So the next game was Giants versus Clippers. That was a very interesting game. Very interesting game because these are the current champions, and then Clippers is a team of experienced players, like people who have been playing. So what do you have to say about that game?
Clippers is a team of veterans. That game, the Giants had youth on their side. It was always going to be a little bit one-sided. So
they didn't stand a chance from the beginning of the game.
I wouldn't say that everyone stands a chance. You never know how the ball rolls on that day there. But the thing is, like I said, age wasn't really on Clippers' side. And again, Clippers didn't come with a full contingent of players. I think there were about 7 or 8 players on Saturday. Giants had their full team. Everyone was just looking to play, have fun, try and hit the 100. But I don't think they did. What was the final score?
81-47.
So you see, so you can't really say it was going to be a walkover because they did match them they scored almost 50 points against Giants, which is good for Clippers.
I believe pace was what mostly took over them. Giants is a good squad. Let's not take it away from Giants, right? But I believe maybe Clippers in that game, if they had a full squad, they could have given at least maybe 60 or 70 points into that game, and it would have been a very tough one for Giants.
Okay, so congratulations to Giants for bagging that game too. And then the next game was Highlanders versus the Legends, which is also Highlanders, if I understand. Am I right?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. So how was that game? You were also playing in that game, and you are also the captain.
That was a good game, man.
Okay.
I believe the game between Legends and Highlanders, Legends wanted the game more than Highlanders A. The Highlanders A, they've got a lot of junior players, they've got youth. I think maybe they also thought that it was going to be a walk in the park. Little did they know. Like I said, there's no easy game when it comes to basketball. Let's not forget Legends at the preseason tournament beat our defending champions Giants as well. So it's not a team that you can really take for granted.
Yeah,
They've got veteran players on their team like Jordan, Tino, Gary, and so forth. So Simba, they're all there. So you can't really take them for granted.
Okay.
I said this. I said this in the first segment that Legends is very experienced, and when they want a game, they go out and get it. What happened in that particular game was it was mostly experience that played pivotal role. Not taking anything away from Highlanders A. Highlanders A has got pace. It's got good the guys there like Ryan and so forth. They're good, but I believe that experience played against them.
Okay, so let me take you back a bit. We were talking about the Giants game and the Clippers, and you were saying Giants won because they had pace. But then this is now a different game where the youngsters are being...
Now if you compare the age groups between Legends and Clippers, it's different. The guys that are playing for Legends, they're not retirees like Clippers. Clippers, most of those players haven't been playing for years. These guys here, they just switched teams, and all these guys that are playing for Legends are from top teams from last season.
Okay.
So, like I said, that's one team that personally I wouldn't take for granted, even though I believe maybe we did as Highlanders A. They just wanted the game more than us.
Okay, so congratulations to Legends for bagging that game. And then the last game that was played, it was Oilers versus Nast B. Yes. And Oilers won 82-40. So how was that game?
The game was good. Oilers, they were having a lot of fun. Frieza, he was shooting threes as if he was being given for free. You know what I'm saying? The other thing that I think affected NASP was the fact that their coach was ejected from the game. So maybe on the bench now, making the substitutions and so forth later on. I think because he was given in the third quarter, so forth. So I think that was a problem it was a problem for NASP.
Okay.
But it is a good team. That's another team that is I think for the future is one team to look out for NASP.
Okay, so let's talk about the coach. He was ejected for the game, and that then affected the chances of the team of winning. What do you think he should have done differently? How do you think coaches should then handle themselves in situations like that? Because right now they have a loss because he was also sent out.
Well, it just depends on what's going on in the game. I think it was just communication between the coach and the ref. They weren't agreeing on a couple of things, and sometimes discipline is needed from both sides, coaches and the referees. So it's just something to go back and look at on the drawing board and see where you can fix it for the next coming games and so forth.
I believe normally in instances like this, it's key for coaches to notice normally when they go overboard. Because when the referee says a certain particular thing, or when he states that maybe it was a foul or whatnot, and coaches are allowed to dispute and have an argument with the ref, but sometimes they go a little bit too much on it. And I believe discipline on a coach's part is very important, because you can't be a coach and you do that. It sets a very bad example to your players too, because normally players become arrogant, exactly like their coaches, because coaches impact a lot on their players.
Okay, these games are intense games. So how then do you draw the line to say that this is now being too much? How do you think they can handle that better? Who then draws the line to say this is now too much?
I believe that's where character comes in. It's a lot of okay. I'll give you a very good example of, I think it was a season back or two, where Giants it was the final game of the season. It was Giants against Mavs,
yeah.
Right? And Giants coach lost the game because he lost his temper. When you lose your temper, normally you lose focus on the game because you're now thinking more with emotions. That's what I believe. What do you think?
The thing is, emotions are always going to be high during the game. But like you said, you also as a coach, you need to know when to draw the line. The other thing also, it's always good to have a competent second in charge assistant coach on the bench and so forth. So if things like that do happen, at least they can take over. You see, or maybe a more senior player on the team that can now take over in that type of instance. But if you don't have, like we said, now the players are left on the bench there to now coach themselves. And then what do you come up with against an experienced team like Oilers?
Okay, so that is all on the week 5 games that we held at Kanyisile Sports Center. And then for week 6, it's going to be on the 26th of January at Kanyisile Sports Center as well. And the games that have been fixtured are Clippers versus Mavericks, Divas versus Angels, Highlanders versus Nast B, and we have Giants versus Highlanders A. So with those games, these matchups for this week, which games are you looking forward to? Unfortunately, we only have one game for the women's side, so it's Divas versus Angels. But for the men's side, which games are you looking forward to?
I'll say main game is going to be interesting.
Main game.
The
Giants versus Highlanders.
Yeah, versus the Highlanders. These two squads, they're both gunning for points. They both need it, and I believe Highlanders could spring a surprise for them. What do you think?
Both teams have got youth on their side with a couple of experienced players to back them up. So I'm expecting a fast-paced game, non-stop action from beginning to end. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be a couple of skirmishes here and there, because this is going to be a very tense game. Like you said, both teams are looking for points. Highlanders are looking to bounce back from last week. Giants are looking to continue with their unbeaten run. So it's going to be a good game. But I wouldn't undermine the Divas and Angels game. Divas and Angels has always been a hotly contested game from beginning to end.
Okay, so
Divas seem to find their mojo when they play Angels. I don't know.
which is good. So we are yet to see who is going to win, Divas or Angels. Yes. We also had a last-minute change in the fixture where the Nast game versus Oilers was cancelled because Coach Annie Noble lost his sister. Our deepest condolences are passed to his family. All right. So thank you for joining us today, then Mr. Hornfront and Mr. Seth.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for coming. And that is all for today. So be sure to like our pages, BBA TV and Next Level Sports TV. Thank you.